day in the pub, Seb and Verity were socialising with hilarity.
They knew there and then that their options were vast. They bought some equipment and made a podcast.
What do you think you are doing, you twits? It's cliched and obvious, you know.
If this doesn't work well, then we'll call it quits.
But right now, just listen to our show. It's called Three in a Bar.
We'll talk to musicians about their lives so far.
Three in a bar. We hope that you like it, okay? Hooray!
Hi.
Hi!
Hey, welcome to another episode of Three in a Bar. My name is Seb Philpott.
And my name is Verity Simmons.
Yeah, it still is. And we've got a very exciting guest for you this morning or this afternoon or whenever it is
Whenever you're listening.
It's not
Listen
even,
when you want.
It's not even the morning now. I don't know why I said that. But
Tell us, Seb, who
I'll
is
tell
it?
you, trombone player Chris Augustine.
Hey.
Yeah. Now, Chris Augustine, he is currently, I think he's got plans of continuing this. He's in the Welsh National Opera as sub-principal trombone. And he, to give you a little biography, which I'm reading off the internet here, he has a B Mus from Goldsmiths College, an M Mus from Trinity Laban Conservatoire, and he spent a postgraduate year at the Royal Academy of Music. Now, prior to joining the WNO, he freelanced with many of London's orchestras, including the London Symphony Orchestra, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, and Chineke Orchestra.
Wait.
Chineke's got an exclamation mark in it.
Yeah.
That's why I said it like that. He's charged for positions in the BBC National Orchestra Wales and the BBC Concert Orchestra. And in London's West End, he's worked on Wicked, Matilda, The Lion King, and everybody's talking about Jamie.
Oh, he's done it all.
He's done it all. That's where I first met him. I think I met him depping on Matilda.
Oh.
And I just immediately really liked him. He's just very friendly, just talks and talks and talks.
Oh, he's so great. This is the first time I met him, and as soon as he walked through the door, it was great, wasn't it? There's just no stopping him. He's got all the chat and he's all excellent.
So much energy. He just brings the vibe. He's one of those people that brings the vibe.
Yeah, and we can't ignore the fact that he is an extremely athletic, fit gentleman, isn't he?
He really is.
He's got an incredible physique.
He's an Adonis.
Yeah.
He does CrossFit. He does it every day, pretty much. Maybe he has a day off a week, but he's a very disciplined guy. He works hard at what he does, and I've always found that really inspiring. So we talk about that, and we just talk about his kind of ideas of musicality and where he's come from and where he's going to go to, maybe. So here we are. We've just recorded the interview with him now. We're doing this in person.
It's all very fresh.
So he came down to my flat in Catford. Thanks so much to Chris for that. Here we go. This is the chat we had with Chris Augustine.
I can't put it in the fridge to keep for Monday because it will freeze over. The house is bloody 30 degrees, so I can't do it. So I've got to do it tomorrow morning now for my sister.
Oh, I like that background noise. That's excellent. That was really chatty then. It was like,
no, don't turn the sound off.
Dad!
Were you on that?
Oh.
She'll self-soothe.
Yeah. She's so good. She should nap. Well, we don't usually put her to this early, but she should nap for about 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, this did not happen with my boys.
No.
It just didn't. Yeah. Even now, this morning, 4:00 in the morning, I need to go down to the toilet, please. Will you come with me?
What?
Yeah, 4:00 in the morning.
You have to go with them?
Yeah, because...
Is it an outside toilet?
Yeah, it is. He has to go knock on the neighbour's door. He'd had a nightmare about a shark. So I had to go with him to the toilet this morning.
Oh.
I know.
This is great coffee.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's don't know. It's something from Co-op, I think, or
There's no
Sainsbury's.
scum.
Well, I try my best, when I make my coffee to avoid scum.
There's no scum in the cup, but
You
you're
know what?
surrounded by it.
I've got this just coffee machine. Like it's a drip one, but it just pours through. But it has a button that says calc. It counts. Like basically after a certain number of times, it means you have to clean it out, and that light's been on for about 6 months. So that's probably why it tastes so good. Thinking I could, I don't know, probably not.
I'm enjoying it all
It needs
the
a
more
clean,
now.
but I think once I clean that, it's one of my projects for this weekend.
Very good.
I know it's
Being
already
an amazing dad, obviously.
Oh, I'm trying my best.
Fantastic husband. You are married, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you get married?
I got married 3
It's longer than that, isn't it?
3 years ago. It was August 2017.
Oh, okay.
Which, I suppose it's weird thinking about time like that because it's like this year's gone so fast. So I can't believe it's 3 years, but that's not. I mean, it's not that long. Some people have been married for 50 years.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to look at you. Sorry.
Thanks, yeah. Not quite 50 years, nigh on. 11 though, 11 years.
11 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
long time.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
That's a long time.
Tell Chris about my mug.
Oh, yeah. Can you guess who used to own this mug?
Should I try and act it out like I'm that person?
Yeah.
I won't be able to.
Maybe Mufasa? Rafiki?
Wouldn't that be great? I did sort of get that vibe then. No,
I really liked
it's not. I can't act it out.
Which season are you in of this?
Well, I'm just thinking where
that's a hint.
she got like power.
A power. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's got a power.
She's got a power.
She got power.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones?
Oh, no.
No, so we're not going that way.
What else can I
Never
do?
seen that show, but...
Is that good?
I like that.
Wonder
Doing wings
Woman?
now. Thanks. No.
Verity's waving her arms up in the air.
That's it. That's all I got.
Can't really explain what... well, I'll tell you who it is. It used to belong to Daenerys Targaryen.
No way.
Yes.
Okay. Shut the front door.
Yeah.
It actually used to belong to her.
Yeah. Well, actually, the actor who plays her, Emilia Clarke,
Yeah. She's beautiful.
she is.
Very, even for me as well. Do you know what I mean? Blimey.
Her lips have been around that mug. So,
I can't believe I'm allowed to hold it.
How did you acquire it?
well, I'll tell you a story. I've got a friend called Sheba and Vari. She used to play the viola, but now she's a fantastic chef. And she was doing this sort of kind of trial bit of work for Emilia Clarke when she was working on Solo.
Okay.
A film about Han Solo. And I think Emilia Clarke was just trialing out a few different people and then not really ever giving anyone the actual job. But she used to get... Emilia Clarke doesn't come off very well in this. She'd like, her mum would be her... She's not going to listen to this. We're not going to get her on, are we? She didn't play an instrument, does she?
Doesn't sound like she's the sort of person who'd want to come on
No.
necessarily.
Her mum would sort of be in charge, like, texting out to the chef. But she'd say, we need... she needs kumquats in the morning at like 11 at night. And she'd have her breakfast at like 4 a.m. because she had to go into costume and makeup. So then she was like, I've got to get bloody kumquats now. How am I going to do that? So she was a bit demanding. But anyway, at some point she said to her, do you want this mug? I don't want it. And then she gave it to us. And then we've got the mug.
I really like it. And it looks a bit like a dragon egg, I think.
It does, actually. Yeah.
It's quite
yeah.
bulbous. It's
And
got
it looks
some
quite rustic as well, which I kind of like.
blue and kind of gold.
Every time I pick it up, I'm grabbing it so tightly because I'm just terrified of smashing.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, would you repeat what you said you had for your breakfast this morning? Because I think does this link in with your amazing fitness regime?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So normally what I have for breakfast is a big bowl of porridge with chia seeds and then some almonds with a banana and some cinnamon. And then on top of that, I have a good bowl of grapes, blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. So that's one. And then I have 4 boiled eggs on the side as well. So but that's normally a post-workout breakfast that I have. So I'm up at 10 past 5 now because the gym's moved a bit further away, out the door by 5:45. And then I do 2 hours at the gym from 6 until 8. So I do a CrossFit class from 6 until 7.
Yeah.
So CrossFit's like high intensity interval training mixed with Olympic lifting, mixed with gymnastics, mixed in with strength and conditioning. And then I do my own separate thing. So that's in the class, with equal amount of girls and guys, because it's good to get that balance in the morning. And lots of crazy people. I mean, who wants to be in the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning? I mean, crazy people. Come on. And then from 7 until 8, I do my own bodybuilding. So I'm on a little program as well. So each day is a different day. So we have 6 days of bodybuilding. So it's legs, then it's back, then it's shoulders, then it's chest, then it's biceps. Oh, that's 5 days. I think I just add an extra day if I'm doing it.
Yeah, why not? It doesn't sound like you're doing enough.
No, yeah, exactly. No. But this weekend in London, because of the rehearsal schedule and because of the pressure of it, I'm not doing any exercise. So I did exercise from Sunday to Friday last week, and then I'm having 3 days off just because I really need to be in the zone for this. It's really hard music that I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel physically when you don't do it, though? Does it feel
So
weird?
I do feel lethargic in the mornings. That's the thing. And I have to use certain things. So I don't even normally drink coffee before a workout or eat cake. It's a lovely cake that Seb has made, his beautiful wife. But I need something to lift me up, because after you're in the workout, you're kind of running around and you're working as hard as you can. You get all the endorphins, keep you going for the rest of the day, that positive energy, which is really, really good. But unfortunately, I can't do it this weekend. So I just feel a bit, so hence the reason why I'm a bit late today, because I just take so long doing everything.
That's all right. And you got your hair cut this morning.
Got my hair cut this morning.
Very good.
It was already coloured, so we're just keeping it there because you can see the roots are coming through again.
Yeah.
But you've got it, because my hair's so short, you can't colour it too much, otherwise you burn your skin. So it's just shaped, ready for tomorrow's performance, which is going to be recorded, video recorded as well.
You're looking really smart, and it's putting me today. I feel like Pauline Fowler, to be honest. The hair is lank, the clothes are poor.
You look beautiful, my darling.
Come on, Chris.
Golden and regal. I love it. Love it.
Excellent. I'll stick with that. Thanks.
So how has this project been this weekend with Chineke?
Yes.
God, I didn't mean to change the energy.
This is so good, because I must say, I don't know what I'm doing here, by the way. Like, I'm just going to speak.
Perfect.
Great.
So it's been very good, and it's lovely to be able to play with a full orchestra. My orchestra are not quite there yet. I play for the Welsh National Opera. Yeah. We had our first rehearsal after 7 months to the day, as just a brass quintet on Thursday, so just the day before I came here. So it's actually nice coming to London and playing with a full orchestra with some really nice music as well. I just forget how hard it is playing symphonic music, tone poems and things like that. In the opera, and I kid you not, this is not an exaggeration, you'll be like, right, okay, 3 minutes, overture, trombones, rest for half an hour. And then, okay, right, so, okay, she's dying. Okay, right. She's dying. Oh, she's in love, and rest. So it's kind of on and off. In the opera, I can just switch off. But here, we're doing Chineke, which is a great opportunity to do. I've got to be on the whole time. And it's particularly challenging music for me anyway, because it's quite high and it's quite low, and you've got to nail it because it's going to be live on the radio tomorrow as well. Live.
What are you playing, actually?
Good question. So I'm going to name it as it comes to my head. We're playing a transcription of Samuel Coleridge Taylor's piano pieces. Forget their name. So that's one of those. And then we're doing another piece, which I can't remember either, all by Samuel Coleridge Taylor. And then we're doing a new work by James B. Wilson. It's a piece called Remnants, which is for orchestra and poet.
Oh wow!
So he says a lots of lines, but in a poetic way, which is very, very. That's a very good piece. I really enjoy it. It's challenging, and it's contemporary, but also contemporary with the ideas or the things that are going on right now. We're also doing Florence Price's Piano Concerto in One Movement. And then we're ending on Beethoven 5.
Wow.
So I don't know Beethoven 5. All I know is da 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 da, da 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 da, and that's it. And I'm being serious.
That's all you need to know, and that's it.
But actually, so the trombones don't play anything until the last movement, and it's really high, it's really hard, and it's really loud. And that's the thing that I'm struggling with, is the weighting as well. So I've not actually heard this piece in its entirety yet. I know the fourth movement now because we've played it and we've rehearsed it.
I love that fourth movement. Isn't it cool?
It is good.
So
yes,
good.
it is. Yeah. It is really, really good.
Very uplifting.
Going into it from the end of the third movement, where it builds and builds and builds. You come in like 2 bars before the end, right?
Right at the beginning. No, right at the beginning of the fourth movement. But just leads straight
Maybe
into
the
it.
trumpet's coming a little bit early or something, just to lead it into it. And then the trombone. Apparently, it's like one of the first ever times a trombone was used in the symphony orchestra.
Now, I have some...
oh my God.
Fact checking.
Right, so I'm going to try and do this in like 2 minutes because I know I can talk. So just stop me to talk. So the first time, apparently, first time... Because I had to double check this. Now, I thought Brahms was after Beethoven.
I thought so too. Is that not the case?
So there seems to be an overlap, which I haven't checked on my phone yet because I keep saying I'm going to do it, of either Beethoven 5 and Brahms 1. Right, now, the first time I got told this on Friday by Ian Balsfield in his masterclass, the trombones were used in a symphonic setting that's not related to masses or any sort of religious stuff, was Brahms 1.
Right.
Okay.
Now, when we come in, it goes da 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 dee da 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 da. So that's the first time.
Yeah.
Then Mahler uses that same theme at the beginning of his third symphony, obviously a couple of decades a bit later, as the opening of the third symphony, and that's why it's a big trombone solo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was told this was literally on Friday as I was driving to London in the masterclass listening to my students. That's what he said. Now I had to double check that because I thought Brahms was after Beethoven, so I'm not too sure. But the use of the trombones, as he says, is that in the German Bible, it's supposed to be used, the trombone will sound rather than the trumpet will sound.
Okay.
But we all go by the King James Bible, and whoever translated that says the trumpet. So that's why the trombones were only used really in religious music or to kind of conjure up some sort of kind of ethereal sort of thing. For instance, in Don Giovanni, Mozart.
That's a great moment.
And it's kind of like ominous sort of thing.
It's when the ghost of Don Giovanni comes back.
Yes.
That's when your trombones come in, isn't it?
And that's another nerve-wracking. I've done that as well. And you're just sitting there and it's cold and everything stops and you've got to play a nice chorale-ish sort of thing. And it's a bit difficult. But I'm going to double check that though. I think Beethoven is obviously before, and
I feel like I saw it on some social media the other day. I think one of the orchestras, it was maybe LPO or someone, put a clip up and they said this was the first ever time that the trombones were ever used in a symphony. And then people were like, actually, that's not true. And I think there was some like very much lesser known composer.
Oh, okay, I see.
That was like a year earlier or something like that.
Oh, I see. That's why I'm not an academic, because I can't do dates.
Oh, I thought you sold that very well.
Yeah.
I was going along with it completely.
So you're hang on. So you said you were driving while in a masterclass.
Yes, it was on driver safe mode.
Yeah.
So so Ian Balsfield was given a masterclass at the Royal Welsh College of Music, where I teach, and he did a live masterclass where the students had to submit a video, and he would talk about it. So I just had it playing through it wasn't, when I say a masterclass, it was just a video recording, but I was just listening to the audio, and he would talk about that person's playing and demonstrate things he'd do better, or like technical flaws that you had, or musical ideas that he would do as well. So I listened to, he had a recital at 1:00, which was available. So I listened to that, and then I listened to that masterclass all the way, which got me literally, I left exactly at 1:00 on Friday, and I got exactly to my mum's house at 5:15 as well. Well, no, but that took 4 hours in the car.
I know, but I know that route because I live in East London as well, and my family are in Cornwall. And that first bit.
Yes. Oh.
headache, isn't it?
It is an absolute headache. I don't like the M25. I don't think the M25 likes me either, to be honest.
Me neither. And I remember coming down to Cardiff at the end of last year, back in the days when we got to play all the time, and doing Les Mis in Cardiff, and driving back from there. And it is so long, isn't it, Les Mis?
It is, yeah.
And one day that I was on, the barricades got set fire to, so it was even longer. I know.
What?
Yeah, it was so exciting. It all stopped. I thought it was like my first step, I think, on the show. I was like, is it me? If I stop the show, what the hell did I do? But that night, like getting back so late.
Yeah, really. And I've done the opera's obviously finished it starts earlier, like 7 o'clock or sometimes 6:30, and finishes at, they're not allowed, they can do, but we get overtime if it goes past 10:30.
Yeah.
And I've gotten in the car at 11:15 and I'm like, right, off to London I go. And that's when they close all the roads.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like diversion.
Go to Oxford.
I go up, exactly.
Through the Cotswolds.
Yeah. It's like, I'd love to go. Yeah, the scenic route. What can I just see darkness. I just see darkness. It's not great.
You must be doing that trip all the time though, in normal times.
So I did it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Every Sunday I'd come to stay at my mum's house, and then I'd do some teaching at the school I used to teach in East London, St Helens Catholic Primary School, and then maybe 2 times or 3 times in a month I'd do a show, either Wicked or Matilda, in the evening. Right. I'll just say these are my availabilities, and they'll make it work. And that was hard, and that fell to pieces because it was such a huge stress on the brain.
Yeah.
It wasn't to do with the playing, it wasn't to do with the teaching, it's just a sheer amount. What's 400 miles round trip, and then you finish teaching just after 5, and then you're driving into town, and just driving into town is an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then then I have to sit and wait on the yellow line for 6:30 to come, so I was always on time for that one at least. Sit at the yellow line until 6:30, and then get something to eat, do a proper good warm up, and then play. So I don't do that anymore now. It was too much. It is too much to go back and forth every week. I don't know how people do it.
So are you settled into Cardiff lifestyle now?
So this lockdown has settled me in.
Right.
I'm going to say it that way. It's taken quite a while. I think what's happened really with me is that my 3 years away that normally people go to their university, I did that with going to Wales. So I stayed in London right up until I was 29, from primary school, secondary school, sixth form, into university, into Trinity, into the Royal Academy. So I was in education up until I was 25 and then freelanced. I didn't go away for 3 years. I didn't have that experience of exploring myself, who I am and what I want. And I think these 3 years, because I've been in Wales now, as of next month, 3 years, has actually done that for me. So I now feel settled.
Right.
So I actually, now this is I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't mind if Christmas is cancelled.
Yeah?
Because I think I just want to stay at home by myself, get my mulled wine going at 9 o'clock in the morning, be in my boxers, don't have a wash, and make my own little spread, and drink, pass out, eat. Drink, pass out, eat, and watch television sort of thing. I'm now ready to spend time with myself. And I think, you asked me last, going back and forth to Wales, I think there was an element of that. It's like, I'll go and see that friend on a Sunday when I get there. Or, I haven't got a show tonight. I'll just pop into so-and-so for dinner. I'll just tell them I'm coming for dinner, and they will make me food. and then we'll have a catch-up and then leave at 10 o'clock sort of thing. So I am very settled, and this lockdown has shown me that I can be by myself, and I've loved lockdown. I get to do lots of things. I get to go to the gym. We got lots of bits of equipment at home. I took some from the gym, which you put a deposit down, and I was doing work at home. I got to play the harp, so I'm practicing. I play the harp. No, I started 2.5 years ago. Learning it, and I've absolutely love it.
Oh, you're so Welsh. He's so
That's the only Welsh thing. I can't speak the language. I don't like rugby. Well, I like the rugby for the wrong reasons, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. But I'm nothing now. I've started doing some baking. Well, I do baking a lot, but I've started baking some Welsh things, i.e. a barrel breath. And the next stop is a Welsh cake. So the only thing I do is I can literally wake up, do my gym stuff, have breakfast, 2 hours of the harp, making beautiful music, and then have lunch and then a bit, another hour or two on the harp. And then the evening's all mine.
Sounds idyllic, doesn't it?
I was going to say the same word, idyllic.
Oh,
beautiful.
What a lovely lifestyle.
Yeah.
I want to come and move down with you.
London is amazing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so much here.
Oh,
That's what's great.
But were you born in East Ham? Right?
I was born in East Ham, East London, and I was raised there. I say East Ham. I was born in Upton Park because we lived just behind the station before and there, but around that area.
My dad was born in East Ham. He's from there. He was born in Henniker Gardens.
So that, and I kid you not, is a 3-minute walk from my house. I live in Hathley Gardens, and Henniker is 1, 2, 3, the third right before number 87, where my mum lives. So literally 3-minute walk. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great. Central Park is there, isn't it?
Central Park is
really
nice. That's really nice. That's changed quite a bit. But it's a nice area. But once again, when I was driving back on Friday, you just look at the rubbish on the floor, on the roads, and just a disrespectfulness of people, i.e. when you're driving, when you're walking. As well. And Wales, the people are very, very friendly, and it's a bit more courteous, and it's just very clean as well. And I am an absolute clean freak. So I'm going to use another word, but I probably shouldn't use that word. So it's just a shame that things have gone that way, and it's been really overdeveloped. Canning Town Station, it's just loads of higher.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's really crazy. I don't know how I feel. No, I do know how I feel about it. That's a lie. I think it's too much. I think they're trying to gentrify the place. And then obviously those workers that work in the city are having these 1-bedroom flats because they're working this is an assumption, they're working from dusk until dawn because they want to do really well. These are young professionals, and therefore pushing the prices up of those places per square foot, but going upwards. And then means that other people around there can't afford to live there anymore if they're renting because they've got to pay higher rent and higher fees and higher council tax as well. It's just not the same anymore.
No. So. Because I'm a West Ham fan, so I used to have a season ticket for a few years and would go along to
Upton Park or
Upton Park, the bowling ground. It was great, and we'd always go for pints in the local pubs and go for pie and mash and all that kind of thing. And it's just so sad that's still been knocked down and it's being turned into flats.
Yes, everything's been turned into flats.
And just all those local businesses. Yeah. I mean, that's got to have affected them so much.
The local businesses is different there because it's a high Asian area and a high black area. So it's great for I think that's really, really good that they've got like a little niche for what they have there as well. So that's really good. But then there are, if you can't afford to be there, then lots of things are just turning into flats. Literally, just any sort of a kind of building that's there in between, a chip shop or whatever, is just turning into flats, and it's just not the best.
No.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. It sort of rips communities apart, really, doesn't it?
Well,
and you're right. But you were saying when you were asking me earlier about where I was living in East London, I felt like that effect where you move out and out and out, you're priced out of each area. So you just keep going. Because, as soon as, the gentrification thing, you just can't. It's so sad. It's so sad when it's people with families who are
moving out. But I don't know. I don't think this is definitely a place I'm going to live when I'm older. As I said to Verity earlier, I think when I retire, I think I'm just going to move to Cornwall because I really like Cornwall. And I'm not a people's person, I realise. So I just want my little place, like a tiny place with some fields, no animals. I don't like animals. And just have my harp and just play music and just be by myself sort of thing, because that's what I think I want.
You're going to fit in Cornwall so well. It's perfect.
You go down there quite a lot with Emma Bassett's
I go there every year. So this year supposedly was going to be the first year I haven't been down. So we did plan to go down for August for Emma's dad's 60th. Emma's my best friend, by the way, everybody. That didn't happen because of lockdown. So that was in August. So I've booked a holiday home down for me and my mum to spend Christmas there because my sister's partner's family live down there and are from there. So we're going to spend Christmas there. So hopefully this won't be the first year that I don't go to Cornwall because I've been going for the last 8 years. Oh. No, 9 years, sorry, 9 years.
Wow.
So the first time was Emma's 21st birthday. We went down there for the weekend. That's when I go every year. And I love Cornwall. It is absolutely very, very beautiful there.
Well, moving to Wales, then, that is similar in many ways. Do you find that? Oh, no. Dismiss that myth then, haven't we?
Because I live just outside the metropolis, it is like living in the city.
Oh,
I mean, I don't live in Cardiff. I just say I live in Cardiff because it's easy. I live like literally a 5-minute walk from Cardiff. But it's like being in the city. And so, I'm in a terrace house. Yeah. My neighbours are wonderful, actually, because they put up with my trombone playing. And it's not the same, but I don't live in the countryside.
Right.
As well. So, no. But Cardiff has lots to offer, so that's really good. Not as much as London, and Cornwall hasn't got as much to offer in terms of amenities and things to do, but this has that beautifulness of just being there sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So, it's very different. And we have to say, I have to put it on the air, literally, Cornwall is another country. Okay, so
it is?
Yes.
Right, do you see that around Cornish colours
I do
today?
see that, yes.
Yeah. Black and gold. I know this isn't strictly
Is
gold,
it?
but
Is
yeah,
that Cornish colours?
Cornish flag.
I thought it was white and gold, white and black.
No.
What's the
and gold.
black square, the black cross?
Oh yeah. But if you look at like their rugby team.
Oh, okay. I see.
I see.
All the scarves. Black and gold.
Black
Here
and gold.
It is, yeah.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
It's like your hair is sort of...
Yes, I was going to go blonde, but I think I'm going to stay with this one here.
That's nice.
As well. I kind of like it. Just something different. I kind of came out of lockdown, or we came out of lockdown on the end of July, or in the middle of July, and I was like, right, what's something different? And I just went for it, and I love it. So
that's great. Yeah.
Something a bit different, which is I think is always good.
Yeah, definitely. So what should we talk about?
Oh, well, I know what I wanted to ask you about, recorder playing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
wow.
you're not like the bog standard learn the Skyboat song, I'm done with this person, are you? You can actually play this.
How did you know that?
Oh, I've been doing some digging. And it's creepy, isn't it?
We thoroughly research every guest on this.
Oh, okay, that's very good. Okay. Oh, God, I'm blushing now. I can see that. Oh, gosh. So the recorder, I love the recorder. I started recording when I was 7. My mum put me on the piano waiting list at 7. So they said, in the meantime, do the recorder. So I did the recorder. I loved it. The best teacher, Miss Beaver, Sharon Beaver, first teacher. Amazing. And then I started piano when I was 9, continue with the recorder, because the whole point was doing the recorder to start the piano, so you have a musical foundation. Because I don't come from a musical family, so I continue going. Yeah. Then I did my grade 8 when I was 13, which was still to this day the highest. I'm boasting a lot because there's a reason. I'll tell you the reason why. There's the highest mark I ever got in my any exams. I got 142 out of 150
that's really
at
good.
13 on the grade 8 recorder. Now everyone thinks, the recorder is easy. It really is very easy to play, and I loved it. And my teacher that I had,
there's a but there.
There was a but. So the but is, I had a teacher. Her name was Becky Searle. She was the best teacher I've had on the recorder, and she was wonderful.
Yeah.
We were just doing pieces. I was 15, and she was studying at the Guildhall, and she came in a huff and a puff. So my lesson was at 4:00, which means leave school at 3:25, walk 2 miles to get to my lesson. She came in a hall of a huff and a puff. She was like, "Oh, the recorder, it's not going well for me. I've just been unbooked from some work." And I was like, "Oh, well, it's fine. You'll get more work." She's like, "No, the recorder's a really challenging instrument to get work for." And she was working for a really prestigious group of musicians. I don't really know the name. And she was all kind of, throughout the whole lesson. And I remember this so clearly. She's like, "Chris, you need to find another instrument because she said, you're really good at the recorder, but you could be really good, but you're not going to make it if you want to be a professional musician on it." Which the thing is that I got told that on the piano, which was fine. I got told that. So that's when I picked up the trombone when I was 14. So that I remember, when I was 14. It's like a year later.
And was it that you were drawn to that, or did somebody suggest it to
Someone
you?
just suggested it to me because I knew I wanted to be a professional musician, and it was just be like whatever instrument I could do. I wasn't good enough on the piano, and now the recorder apparently I'm not good enough to do it. So
That's so interesting that like what, she had a bad day, and then that made her give you some real rash advice, and that made you kind of go, okay, I mean, that's really interesting.
It's like
changed the
your
whole course of your life.
So it goes on. So then the next year she leaves. So I start on trombone, and she leaves when I'm 15, and it was really sad because she was like, she's been in my life since I was 7.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, since I was 8. Sorry, so it's 8, right up until I was 8 or 9, right up until I was 15. So it's like, oh gosh, she's going, and she's like, I'm giving it all up. I'm going to become a primary school teacher. She's going to follow her husband to Birmingham. He got a job. I was so gobsmacked about it, the whole thing, because I thought she was amazing. Because we do concerts together. This is back in the day when we used to play and do concerts. So I did that, and I continued doing I did National Youth Recorders Orchestra, Nairo. Oh my God, so cringe. Oh my God, Nairo, and that was amazing. With some, meeting lots of people, and that was great, and lots of recording ensembles, and it kind of just died off after. I did teach the recorder for a bit, and obviously did wider ops and all that kind of stuff, but it was never the same afterwards. After she left, she had built a culture of recorder consort from sopraninos right up to the great bass, like 6 foot.
Love them.
Recorders, and we'd get in music. She built such a good base of recorder musicians.
Which was your favourite one to play?
The soprano, high and loud.
Yeah.
How big is the soprano one?
So I'd say it's about 5 or 6 inches.
Right.
So the Descant recorder is about 9 inches.
Yeah.
And I think it's about
like quite a long pen.
Yeah, like quite a long pen. Yes. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
We were talking about the recorder in preparation for this. I was talking about the Mandalorian. Have you seen that? It's on Disney Plus.
No, it's still on my list of things. I'm not a Star Wars person. Star Trek, yes.
Okay.
Not Star Wars.
Well, it's the theme tune is played on a bass recorder.
It's amazing. Seb just played it to me. It's awesome.
So cool. And I was saying, the first time I heard it, I hadn't really heard a bass recorder knowingly before, and it's such a weird thing. I thought maybe it's like an electric guitar with some effects on it, or you couldn't tell if it was a wind instrument or what. Yeah. And it's so cool. It's a really cool sound.
I'm going to listen to that. Yes, and I've got Disney Plus on my phone, so I'll do it on my way into rehearsal. Actually,
that's good. But that's so cool that she. I mean, because everyone learned recorder. From our generation. Yeah.
But she made everyone love it.
Yeah, that's
everyone that played it. So you did your wider ops and stuff, and then she'd hone in on the people that were children that were really good. Come to the club and pay. Parents are always on board with it because it was always discounted as well. I was very lucky with the music service, Music Trust. Sorry.
What was her name then?
Her name was Becky Sell. She messaged me and she saw me in Matilda. I think you were actually on.
Was I?
Yeah, because she had brought her children from her school to watch it down from Birmingham down. She got in contact with MAS and they asked me to give her numbers. And I've always been trying to get in contact to see her because I owe her so much of my foundation music making. As well. So I think she's great.
Great. That's really interesting. You were saying about her being. We wondered if there was some person who was really inspirational to you for your trombone playing, but actually, it sounds like she was the foundation of it.
The most important person, the most important musician that I've ever met as a teacher was Graham Spencer Lee. Yes. He's the best teacher I've had. Best music teacher I've had, or instrumental teacher I've had. He basically made me.
Wow.
Sort of thing. He took me. I was not very good at the trombone. I really wasn't. I went to Goldsmiths for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, I then applied for the first time to all the music colleges in London.
Who taught you at Goldsmiths? So
a guy named Les Lake. He was a bass trombonist in the E&O for 42 and a half years.
Yeah. He's a lovely guy. I've met him a few times,
My favourite story. He said, Chris, come and see Carmen. I had seen Carmen already loads of times. And he's like, I'm going to do my exercise. So he walks me up. It was 7:25. He walks me up to the gods. Okay, so the top part of the theatre, Colosseum. And so that's my exercise done for today. He walks back down. The A goes, I don't see him. because I was right there, and where the trombone sits, you can always see them because they're the closest. They're facing inwards, not into the audience, but inwards to the orchestra. And he literally sat down, it's Ed Gardner, and it went bum, 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 bum. And it literally, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. They were waiting for him because he's so important to Carbon as well. It was just, I just think he was just fantastic. He knew all the rep, and he'd always give me free tickets. Like I'd always come in for free tickets. I mean, they were always at the back, but just the free tickets. And I loved it. I saw Carmen a couple of times, Butterfly, Bohème, and Yennefer. Loads of fantastic stuff as well. He was fantastic as well.
I did like a sit-in thing with the Royal College of Music in my last year, and so he was in the last couple of years there at that point. And I used to get tickets for dress rehearsals, and he would always go with his wife. He'd always be there going to watch the productions as well. Like obviously really loved it. He was a lovely guy.
Yeah, he was very nice, and he did forge my way to becoming a good trombonist. But it was Graham Lee from Trinity. He really made me who I am as a person and as a player as well. He really brought everything out, and I think I'm indebted to him the whole time, all the time, to my success now. I had fantastic trombone teachers as well, Mark Templeton and Dudley Bright, and obviously Les Lake as well. But Graham was the best teacher.
So what was it about Graham that brought that out of you?
It's really hard to explain. So you come in and you play a piece, but it wasn't about the piece. It was about your interpretation of the piece. It wasn't even about your interpretation about the piece. It's what you have to say as a trombone player playing this piece. And he says you need to have more life skills. And, back in those days, I was 21, 22, I was still drinking Malibu and Coke. And he said, you haven't got enough hairs on your chest. Sort of thing, but it's not about the drinking. It's about kind of being worldly, and so it was just. He was just all-encompassing. He was an all-encompassing. He was like a life coach, a music teacher, instrumental teacher, a guru as well. He just every aspect of me as a musician he worked on, not just my instrumental playing.
Oh, amazing!
Wow. Yeah. So it wasn't just your like hour a week with him.
No, and it was never an hour anyway.
No,
it was always more, and it was also more outside of the lesson as well. If it was having lunch with him or going to the pub with him or coming into someone else's lesson, or because I'm a morning person, he'd get in for like 8:30 and practice together. He was like, let's do this exercise. And he would practice with me to make sure I'm doing it right. And that's the best thing, because I realised that on the harp, like, I have a lesson like once every 3 to 4 weeks, and I practice technique, but I don't want to practice in the wrong thing across whereas if Graham has said something, do this, he'll be checking up 2 days later. Have you done it? Let me hear it. Let's do it together. So you're always great teacher. Great.
Yeah, that is amazing.
So good.
I think that's what we all need, especially at that age at college. I just definitely did not know how to practice, and I must have wasted so much time. Because that technique of practice, that's basically what you're at that stage you're being taught, isn't it? How
exactly.
To practice.
Exactly, and that is what's really important, because you can practice wrong and you can practice right, and you can practice too much and too little as well. But with Graham, it was like you need to do this, this, and this, and this, and that's it. So you don't need to do too much or too little as well. When it came to running pieces, you do have to do a lot for a brass player. If you're doing a whole recital, you do have to be like just playing through it, because it's an actual stamina thing. It is like it's a struggle if you just do I'll just do that technique today and I'll just do that piece. Getting through it. So that was by the by, but actual foundation of technique is I love him for that.
I think that's like a really rare thing you had, having someone like that.
It is rare. I've never had a teacher like that at all.
I mean, that just would change your life, something like that. Because I was at the Royal College of Music. I had a teacher, and it was like once a week, or if that, and I didn't have any feeling like that they were really invested in my playing at all. Well, I just didn't progress. It's
amazing that you say that, because, and I'm not just saying that because you're here. I think I've said this to everybody. I think you're a fantastic trombonist. Now, I'm not just saying it because I'm here. I'm not trying to
never played trombone before.
Oh, sorry.
I think you're thinking of
my brother Barney. Yeah, he's a good trombone player.
You're the shit one.
You're a fantastic trumpet player, because I'm never going to forget, we were playing together for BBC Concert Orchestra, and we had rehearsals for the prom, and I was in trial as well. And Seb was bumping, and Kate Moore, I love her, she's fantastic, wasn't feeling very well, and she pulled out the last minute because she really wasn't feeling very well. And it is the proms, it's going to be live, and you just nailed it. And I look back on that, and I'm not just saying that because I look back on that and how nervous I was. That was my first prom. This was only 2 years ago, my first ever prom. I was like, oh God, principal trumpet's down, and we're down one man for the sake of, or one woman, one person, I should say. And it's a tough program, especially with BBC Concert Orchestra. He had no bump to help him so he can focus on the solos, but absolutely played amazingly, and I'm never going to forget that.
Well done.
Never going to forget that. And I was, eyes wide as well. I was stone cold sober, and so I knew what I hear. So fantastic. And I've sat next to you in so many other things as well, which is fantastic. But that to me, picking up the reins on just a 3-hour rehearsal and then going live on the television and on BBC Radio 3, nailing head loads of solos, absolutely amazing. I think you're fantastic. So it's interesting that you said that you didn't progress in college.
Well, I didn't for those first few years at college. It didn't click. I don't know if I've talked about this on this podcast before, but it all kind of clicked in like my third year, and it was in particular it was a masterclass. It was my birthday, right? I was just in college, no one around. It was like just sort of bumming around the common room, and then someone like, oh, Patrick Howe's doing a masterclass now, tuba player. So I went up and just watched it. And a lot of these tuba players hadn't practiced enough, and they were just kind of vibing it, just fluffing their way through some things. And he just couldn't believe it. He was like, "What are you doing? Like, this isn't. It's not just going to be like luck that it works one day. It's like it's completely down to you. What you do. You have to put in as much work as you can, so you have the confidence to go into any situation and then perform." And then, obviously, on the day, there's going to be elements out of your control, but at least you've done the work. Yeah. And that, ever since then, I just remember that moment, be like, oh my God, it's it's all down to me. Because no one's going to make me do the work, practice, it's down to me. So then, I feel like everything changed. But I never really had... I remember my fourth year, my teacher changed, and I had Ian Balmain come in.
Okay,
Fourth year. And that was so good. And he was, and he was a colleague of Graham Lee, of course.
Yes, of course, from the RPO.
They toured the world together, and they were such good mates. And he wasn't really someone that was a natural teacher. He didn't really sort of know how to explain the technique and stuff. He was just a fantastic player, and it was just being around him. We'd play through some symphonies and stuff from the Opera House. He'd bring in some parts. And that was so good, just to feel him next to me, breathing and playing, and I learned so much from that. And then he at the end of my fourth year, he got me in the Opera House, and
fantastic.
And then that was the greatest thing ever. I did Tristan and Isolde with them. Suddenly booked, because you have so many rehearsals, and then you got like 6 or 8 shows, and they were like 5 hours long. And, and I'd never, as my first proper professional orchestral gig I'd been given, and there was so much of it. It was like all these dates, and I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that it asked me, and I just loved it so much. But I learned just so much hearing him, and so from that point on, it was like I learned so much more about music, just being in the profession and hearing people. But I wasn't, when I was at college, it was a really weird time. Just thinking back to it now, and if I went to college now, at my age, I would work all the time, and I would just chase people down, saying, "Oh, can I have a lesson with you now?" Yeah. People don't even play trumpet. I'd have lessons with everyone.
I think this all the time, but also I remember when we were speaking to Amos about this, that it's changed so much, because I think exactly the same thing. And I think I wasn't mature enough to root out what I needed to root out, and the things that were going to be detrimental to my playing. And also, like you're saying, the working ethic, like my work ethic didn't really kick in until the third year. No. And then I'd lost 2 years because I'd just been, dabbling, messing around, it's just so daft. But in a way, I'd love to go back now and Well, actually, having said that.
Part of it, you're 18, 19, and you're in London, and you just want to go out all the time.
It's exciting.
And that's a thing you want to do at the same time. So I don't know, it's all part of your journey to becoming where you are.
Yeah, definitely. But you're teaching a bit at Welsh College at the moment as well.
Yeah, so teaching at the Welsh College. So I started off teaching in the junior department.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy. So my training that I had really was working with 3 to 6 year olds when I was in Newham. And that was my main thing. And I loved working with young children. And then this is because of the recorder. So even though I played the trombone, I think I taught the recorder because that was my kind of way in with this music service.
Yeah.
And then teaching up to 11-year-olds. So I teach at the Royal Welsh College of Music on a Saturday. And then a year ago, I got approached to teach some of the seniors as well. So I have at the moment 5 students, seniors as well. And I teach them at the moment on the Sunday, which is today. So I should be teaching on a Sunday. But the reason why is because we have a 25% capacity because of coronavirus as well. And I just missed the boat out on all the rooms. So there are 9 rooms and there are 4 voice, wind and brass that we can use throughout the week. And I just missed that. So I said, well, Sunday, I don't have a family. We'll have lessons on Sundays as well. So that's been great. It's really hard teaching, obviously, 18 to 24-year-olds because you can see the potential and it is down to them to put the work in.
Yeah.
And lots of them do and some don't as well. And what I do, because I talk too much, I don't know if you've noticed, I just... I pacify myself by playing more. So I do more playing. So this is how I would do it.
Yeah.
This excerpt, this piece... and that's it. So get them playing more. Otherwise, we just end up having a chat, which is not what they want. Not all the time, actually. Sometimes they do, but I just try and demonstrate.
That's nice for them as well, though. It's nice to have that personal element to it as well, though. It's good for I think it makes people play better, doesn't it? If they're a bit more relaxed and there's dialogue.
Yes and no. I think if it's too relaxed, what I've learned, especially listening to the masterclasses and the feedback is that they get comfortable in the lesson, and when it comes to actually performing, they're not as comfortable.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes.
Right, yeah.
That's what I've kind of realised. Because I said, you play this to me fantastically. I've one pupil who is really, really good. And literally the day before the masterclass online, it was with the trombone New York principal, Joe Alessi.
Yeah.
And I said, right, if you play that movement, it was like a 3-minute piece, just like that, I'm sure he's going to have lots to say. And it didn't work out the same way on maybe because it was Zoom or something like that. Yeah. So I do agree with you. It's comfortable. It's good to have that comfortable kind of rapport with them, but sometimes they don't do the best outside of the practice room or outside of the lesson.
It must be harder going from having lovely lessons with you, a very friendly person, and then you go, I've got to play to Joe Alessi.
I know,
legendary
and everybody else that's turned up as well. I.e., I know it's I guess so. I'm not always lovely though. I do get a bit riled up when I know that someone can do better.
Yeah.
And that does annoy me because I'm blowing my own trumpet again. I work as hard trombone. That is it.
It's a lot of confusion.
I don't know what instrument these are. God. I worked very hard throughout the whole 7 years at higher education, all the time. I've never stopped.
Yeah.
And I had to work 20 hours as well teaching. And I was in Trinity. I was in at 8 every day, and then out the door by like 10:30 to teach somewhere else. And then I'll come back and do evening practice as well until the close. I was always, and I did everything that I could do as well. So when I see other students that don't have that, it does annoy me a bit. But pacify myself, okay, well, this is not working well today, not so much in these times in coronavirus. Let's open up some duets and let's play together so I don't have to say anything horrible and make anyone feel uncomfortable.
That's why if you're playing duets, it means you're annoyed with them.
If any of Chris's students are listening, be warned.
So
I think that's admirable that you were like that from the start of your education. I wish I had been.
Yeah.
I really think that's good.
I wasn't very good, Verity. Like I was terrible. I had to get better. I didn't have.
You must have had something that was good that made you carry on and enjoy.
I had Graham in my life. That was it.
He must have seen something, though. He must have seen the potential in you.
And that's what's great. My biggest thing is, I don't mind even saying this on the podcast, is that when someone treats you differently because of the way that you play, so you may not be the best player, but then people are horrible to you, peers, sometimes teachers, are horrible to you because you don't play well, or they're so blindsided to the fact that you've put work in, but they're not seeing the outcome. The outcome is not up their level.
Yeah.
So I get really annoyed by that, and it still happens in the business these days, you know. And I just kept on going. I was so much more resilient through my 20s, from 22 to 26, than I am now.
Yeah.
I just didn't care what anyone said. I didn't care. And now, as an older person, you're always like, oh, what did he say? What did she say? What did they say? So,
yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but I read online you had an interview with Chineke on the website talking about the fact that you don't feel like you've ever experienced any kind of like discrimination. Racial.
Yeah.
Have you?
So that's good, because I think now, this is a very big topic. Try and be concise. There is my understanding, and I've had to learn how to say this over the last couple of months because of what's happened in the world as well. My interpretation of like negative discrimination and racism is when it really does affect you as a person. So it's always individual.
Yeah.
There's not a statistic for a look that you get, or an extra clutching of a bag that you get, or something like that. And I give this example every single time. I have to go to Llandudno every season with WNO. Llandudno is North Wales, and it's really backwards. I really don't like it there. When I get there, I have to go into Asda to get my food shopping for the week, because we're there touring for a whole week. Now, you know, I walk into Asda. Maybe a lot of people in North Wales don't have seen lots of black people in real life. So you always get a look. You always get, that's not racism to me. That's just someone being inquisitive. And, you know, people put in an extra effort not to try and look racist as well. I have the same thing when I go down to Trinidad. I walk into a shop, or I go by a little a street vendoring thing to get some sugarcane, some mangoes, or whatever. And I go, "Excuse me, sir, can I have some mangoes, please?" And the stare that I get and the look that I get from the vendor on the side of the street in Trinidad is exactly the same that I get in Asda in North Wales.
Yeah.
Because what they're seeing is they're seeing a black person with what I would only assume is, you've got a white accent.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, and they're like, ooh. The same thing when I go and ask for my steak rare in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
The look of disgust that I get. Because everything's cooked through, highly seasoned and cooked through.
Okay.
So, and I remember that. They are judging me, but that's not a racial thing and on a racial bias. It's just that their conception of what, like I say, in the Caribbean, what we normally have is you have it well done and that. And, you know, Llandudno, we don't see many black people, so I'm more inquisitive as well.
Yeah.
So there's not a statistic for that.
No.
And then, you know, someone, I think we were walking when I was like much younger, walking down the road in Romford, walking from, let me get this right, Chafford 100, where Lakeside is, to Romford, because we missed the last train.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's the worst part of the world.
And so we walked like an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
And, you know, you get shouted racial slurs and stuff. That is racist, okay?
Yeah.
But how I take it, it's like, okay, well, that's why they're doing that. They're just uneducated, and that's not right. But I don't feel that is it's not discrimination. It's not discriminate. But I let it go.
Right.
It doesn't weigh on me.
Yeah.
A lot. It's when you see something like the whole George Floyd thing, it's at its rife there. So when I said I haven't experienced racial discrimination, I don't think someone has hurtfully changed my output of what I think about things. That's not really the best way. I'm not really saying this in the best way. I don't feel hurt. I just think, well, you're just a bit uneducated and that's not really nice. So I'm just going to dismiss that as well. It hasn't changed my life. That's what I'm going to say.
Right.
I haven't been punched in the face. I don't feel like I've been disregarded for any work that I've got and I don't feel like I have been... So, I'm not really doing this very well now.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. It's personally to you. So as in... not looking at the whole full huge picture.
Yeah.
You're talking personally.
Personally to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you will have experienced many sort of mini micro forms of racism.
But that's with every bit of discrimination out there.
Yeah.
Women, discriminated against as well. If you're older, you'll treat them a bit differently. And if you're have different genders that you're not assigned when you're at birth, and you're trying to, I do that myself. I go, is that a man or woman? I'm not too sure, but I should stop staring now because that's going to make them feel uncomfortable. And I've done that in my head. As well, it's those thoughts where we're trying to change those thoughts, thinking everyone should be who they want to be. But sometimes I'm not going to generalize. We all generalize to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's as far as I'm going to go.
Yeah, I think so. Because like, there's like a primal thing. You're out late at night or something. If you see, you've got to make a quick decision sometimes because there are some obviously like muggers out there. And so you make decisions and then and if someone looks a bit different, if you're in Llandudno and someone looks different, then that's just, you've maybe never seen someone that looks like that before. So you do react in a certain way, and then you have like a secondary thought to be like, oh, actually, it's totally fine. It's all. So that, I guess that requires a bit of education.
It's that secondary thoughts. And I'm going to give, I hope Emma won't kill me on this, an example. Emma was cycling from somewhere to Clapham Common. And it was a day when it was really hot and everyone was out and all the young people are being naughty in lockdown. So she went past, it's a Cable Street, I think it was, which is in East London. And there were a group of black boys, black girls, hooded, and she was on her little bike, on her bike, Bluebell is her little bike. Wolf whistled and go, oh, you're looking very nice. But her primal instinct maybe was that, oh, this is a bit scary. But then her second one was, they're just a group of people.
Kids. Yeah.
And it's fine.
Teenagers, yeah.
Same thing happened when she got to, Clapham Common, and she said, the guys were dressed as, in loafers and that. And same sort of thing happened in, bit of wolf whistling, a bit of, it's exact. But instantly she was like, oh, I don't like that group of guys calling me out.
Yeah.
But actually she goes into her secondary thought, this is fine. And actually there are the same sort of things happen, but it's that instant instinct that always a group of black boys or, oh, that's not right. But Emma is educated. So she goes, nothing's going to happen. They're just, doesn't matter that they're black. Doesn't matter that they're white. It's they're guys and they're going to wolf whistle and nothing's going to happen to me. And she felt protected because she had that knowledge at the back of her mind as well. I remember her telling me that, and that's the way it should be. But there's that primal bit that goes, I shouldn't probably say that.
But you're right, it's education, I think, absolutely. It's being. My friend just made this brilliant documentary. It's the school that is trying to eliminate racism, basically.
Okay.
And it was really interesting because they tested these kids at the beginning of the project and at the end, and they had a natural bias towards the white children. However, and lots of it was really interesting. The thing that stuck in my mind was at the National Portrait Gallery. They took the class in there. They went into this room and the curator said, look around, what do you notice about the room? And they were like, all the pictures are of white people. There's one picture in the whole of this section of a black person, and it was a slave. And they were so if this is what you're being told as a kid, like it's just going in. But the good thing is it's changing. It's not that way. I mean, this is so naive because I'm a white woman, but it seemingly is changing. It
is changing, and we need those big progressive things. And one more thing I'd like to say: my friend Jonathan Harris, who's an athlete at my gym, said, there were words that he used to say, at school. So I'm not going to say them now. But he said then that's when he was at school. So he's in his 50s. And then 25 years, 40 years later, those words are no longer used because they got told not to say it. Therefore, their children don't know about the words, and therefore it's eradicated from the colloquial English language.
Yeah.
So that's how it works now. So if we're doing the same thing, that you can't say this, you can't do that now, there may be some people still thinking those things, but if they're not going to do it, the next generation won't know about it in terms of trying to act it out by saying it or by acting it out as a person as well.
Yeah.
What about the music industry, especially the classical industry, is predominantly white.
Yeah.
And I mean, like organisations like Chineke are trying to help to change that slightly.
Yes.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that? And how can that...
If I knew...
You've got 90 seconds.
Guys.
No, joking.
Okay, so that's a good one. I worked in the school, St Helens Catholic Primary School, the best school that I've ever worked in, with a fantastic senior leadership team and a fantastic ethos across all the teachers. In Newham, they had the Every Child a Musician, where every child in Newham had an instrument. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of how it formed and that, but it was a good idea, and it's now finished last year. And we gave every instrument an instrument to every school, every pupil in year 5 and 6 pupil in Newham. At St Helens Primary School, they take, each year goes to the ballet, each year goes to the opera, each year goes to a musical, each year goes to a play. I think at the moment it's War Horse in year 6, but I think it's whatever they're reading for their SATs. Or I'm not too sure what it is. And it does change as well. But they go to lots of different things. So we're exposing that. And we have to put a monetary value on it. So even though the schools pay for it, it's like it's £5 to show that you do have to pay for it. It's not just free. You don't get to go to delve into culture just for free, because hard artists put a lot of work into it, So they do that, go to the opera all the time. And I used to go as a chaperone as well. We're giving them all that. They're having lessons on instruments as well. However, not everyone, I'm going to say it, not everyone is a musician. Not everyone is a football player. Not everyone is a dancer. And even though in that borough, it worked to give them an instrument, it had no value on it because they had it for free. And also it wasn't instilled in their home culture.
Right, yeah.
And the things that they listen to on the radio. I say the radio, music videos, whatever they are.
Yeah.
So,
on the wireless.
God, I'm not that old. No,
that's me.
So there's not a lot of black people in, and not a lot of black people in classical music because it's not part of their culture. And that's it. I'm an anomaly. I'm an anomaly because I'm very different as a person. My mum gave me the opportunity to do it, but classical music wasn't playing in the background. We didn't go to concerts together. We didn't go to the theatre together. We didn't go to art galleries together. I did that with my school. Yeah. I loved all of that as well. But I had that within me to explore. But imagine, you're a working mum and, you're a working class mum. Those things are what you might think are extracurricular. And that coming to this country, becoming a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, a business person is going to it's going to be the best thing for your child, because that as much as they might have talent in their voices or in an instrument, and we know as musicians sometimes it's not enough to pay the bills or to rear a family. So you've come to this country and you see that these are the people that earn the most. I'm going to push my family or my children to do that. Yeah. Rather than music, dance, art, or whatever. So my feelings are, I have no statistics, that it's more of a socio-economical,
cultural
thing as well. So it's the society that the children are brought up with doesn't promote classical music. The culture that the parents come from don't appreciate classical music. And then if they do have access to it, it's usually free or heavily subsidized. So when it becomes to going to the next level, it's very expensive to own an instrument, to have instrumental lessons. equally so dance lessons, equally so going to an arts club or something
Well, I
like that.
think that's part of a bigger picture at the moment as well, of this big class divide with it. And I think we're seeing it more and more because as music becomes marginalised so much more in schools and things, that it does become a class thing as well. And there's this huge divide if you don't have extra money to pay. So there's all kind. I mean, it's just
also like classical music has come out of like Western Europe from well-off people, all mainly white, like almost 100% white basically, and so that's kind of grown and grown, and then you can't force classical music onto a culture that they don't fit it, and it's not come from their culture. It's I mean, you look at popular music. I mean, that's incredibly diverse. Like pop music, rap music. Yeah,
I'm going to say something which is I've only got from two of my friends. I've got one friend who I teach the daughter to from my gym, and then my barber.
Yeah,
my friend that I teach the daughter from my gym, who's the head of my gym, says there's so much effort going into learning an instrument for so little outcome. And the barber explained to him, this is only a couple of weeks ago, how I, become really good at an instrument. I said, you've got to put hours of practice in. But he said, look at the people on television. I can go and dance or just stand at a wall and be in a music video and get lots of money for that and produce all the sounds that I need on my laptop over, in a couple of hours. But you're saying that you have to give years and years of your life for then very minimal output when you get to where the level is as well. And you're saying it's all on chance as well. What would I rather do?
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it that way. So, but I enjoy that process. I enjoy sitting and practicing both my trombone and the harp at the moment. And the same with my head of the gym there. He's like, I have to sit down for 15 minutes a day. It's like, but I don't have to do that. And the results are so minimal every week that why should I do that if I can just go and play this tune with weird fingers on a piano or something like that?
Yeah.
And I see that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't realise that was the thing because I enjoy that process. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy practicing.
Yeah,
I enjoy
the satisfaction of achieving.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day because you get into. I've been on my phone too much.
I know,
and you just find something on the phone, and it's all so instant. Everything is so instant, and playing around on Logic and playing with sounds and things. And then I'm like, I've got to do a bit of trumpet practice now, so I do my trumpet practice. And you think this is so different.
Yes,
this is like an old world skill playing the trumpet. Like it's.
But Seb, what does it do to you on the inside?
Oh, it's so much more fulfilling. Like honestly, because it's like it's a deep thing, and I've been doing it for like the vast majority of my life since I was 8. So, but I just can't imagine what it's like now for someone who's 8 years old to begin an instrument like that. So this is going to be like something you're going to have to practice every day, really, and you've got to do it all the time, and it's really hard. As you say, it's like there's total chance of whether you're going to get any work or.
I think it's a real distinct personality trait you have to have, and it must be the same for elite athletes, or the same for anyone who's at the top of their field, because you have to be the discipline and the passion for it. All those things you must have to have the way you're wired in a certain way, because you just wouldn't, would you? If you were if you couldn't really be. If you weren't that interested, you just wouldn't do it, would you? You wouldn't last 2 seconds.
No.
But I don't know. I mean, like your barber would have done loads of training, right?
But he says it's instant graft. Someone will give you £5 just there. So he said he started doing cutting hair at 15 on like little children, like his cousins and stuff. And the mum was like, here's £5.
Yeah.
Instant. So he's practicing on someone's hair. And he said it was all right, but it wasn't the best how it is now. And he's in his 20s now. But here's £5. Here's £7.
Yeah.
And every time I'm getting better, I'm getting more money.
Yeah.
And then every time I'm getting better, they're talking to other people and I'm getting more clients. It's this instant thing. Whereas on an instrument, you've got to do all these hours of practice and then you might get 80 quid.
It's not a very efficient way of making money, is it?
Oh my God, what have we all done?
What are we doing? Oh my God.
I think, there are so many transferable skills, and you're not just learning the trombone. You've learned you've learned music, like you've learned how to play music, and that comes from like your recorder teacher, and then we're all sort of looking at transferable things we could go into doing other slightly different bits of the profession, maybe if there's less from live music. But so we because we've got that deep understanding and the thousands of hours we've spent doing it,
literally,
we can just do other stuff. If you've just literally bought Logic on your computer and a keyboard, and you don't really understand how any of the harmony or rhythm works, you're less likely to be long-term successful, I think.
Yeah.
Although, there are incredibly successful, producers, hip-hop producers and that. That don't read any sort of music. You don't need to read music, of course, to be a media composer or anything. But I don't know. I think it's worth doing. But
I think it's so worth doing.
But I just don't know what it's like for a kid these days who, if you're watching TikTok and all that, and it's like so instant, such short attention span. How can you? We've all got rubbish attention spans now. I certainly do. Like, how can you sit down in a practice room for 2 hours and do scales?
Yeah.
Now, it's so different.
I love doing that. That's me. I'm a weirdo like that.
Well,
I can sit there and do it. But the whole TikTok thing, once again, I'm not on any social media, not on Instagram, not on Twitter, not on Facebook, not on TikTok, not on anything. But the whole TikTok thing, people show me this, and it looks instantly amazing.
It does.
Like, I was like, wow, how do they do that? And it's like, well, and then everyone copies it, and they can do it. And I thought that's great.
There is a lot of incredible creativity going on through that. And then TikTok. I don't actually have the app TikTok, but you see it retweeted on Twitter and stuff. And there's some incredible stuff because you're limited to like, I don't know how long.
But we're in that culture now, isn't it? Where 10 seconds flip. 10 seconds flick.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter which social platform you're using. It's just they want quick, instant gratification.
Yeah.
But what does that do to you inside then?
Yes.
I don't know what the science is, because when you're growing on something as you are with a person, don't you want that idea that you have to mature, to get better and have a different angle at it, rather than just go, oh, that's good, or oh, Beethoven 5, I never heard this one. Da, 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 da. Okay, next one, please. Okay, and then it's a dancing dog sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that was nice, and that was nice, and that's it. What do you go to bed thinking about at the end of the day? Because I don't have that.
It's. I just watched the Social Dilemma the other day.
Okay, that's on Netflix. That's come up my thing.
I want to watch that too.
But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. And I sort of was thinking it's a bit like sugar or something. Like you have a bit of sugar, and then like I was making that cake the other day, and like I made some cream cheese icing, and like you have it go, oh, it's amazing. Just a bit more, just spoonfuls of it, and then but you don't feel. You're not satisfied really, and you feel actually quite ill. A bit later, and it's not a healthy.
That is a good analogy to what I think social media is. Social media is bad. I'm saying that right now. Okay, I know that's a out there thing, but that's a good analogy, because I think too much of social media is making people very, very ill in the membrane.
Oh, yeah.
I really do think so.
Yeah.
And I think obviously in small amounts it's great, but if you have it all the time, if you're on all the apps, what is it doing to our society? Well, we can see what it's doing to our society. What it's doing is it's kind of, you're blocking out that interaction with other people, because you're seeing a character of that person on the internet. I call them the internet people. So you don't. That's not the. When you see your friend on Instagram, it's like, oh, I'm so fabulous. Look at my hair and look at my contouring and all that kind of stuff. You're seeing a character, even sometimes a caricature of what they want to present to the world, but that ain't them.
No,
that ain't them. So it's just becoming more and more digitized in terms of interaction, whereas it's so much better just kind of like sitting and meeting people. You know?
Well, you look at around the world at the leaders in the modern world, and you can see exactly that. It's characters.
Yes.
Horrendous characters, but isn't it? And
but it polarizes people as well, completely. So and then it means when we do interact, well, you do it over the internet, and you just completely at loggerheads because you're not listening. You're like, well, you're different to me. Those. It's like the Democrats, the Republicans. They just kind of have this idea of what the other one's like, and then there's just no chance for any kind of coordination or just getting on with each other. But that I think that because it's that documentary, The Social Dilemma, like there is obviously we have to kind of live with it in some ways. And
Yeah,
it's interesting you're not on any of them at all. I mean, like I actually deleted the apps from my phone this week to just try and just put a stop to that habit of just checking all the time.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know, on Monday we've got a podcast coming out. I need to sort of retweet things and just so it's like there's part of it you kind of need it for your sort of.
I think you're completely right. But if you allow those characters into your life and some of them become toxic, then it seems to kind of swirl around in your brain because that person's in your house. They're in your head now. So if you've seen someone on Facebook and they're kind of like, this is what I believe, and it kind of gets you into your brain. Well, actually, it's the character on the internet person that's in your head, not the actual person, because you don't know what they believe because they may be putting something out to show the world what they think other people want them to believe is the right thing. Oh God, I'm going around in circles.
I know, but yeah. So I think maybe what I really admire about you is your sort of discipline and your enjoyment of just the doing the same sort of thing each day, working on your body, working on your mind, learning new things, baking and your but just that constant work ethic.
I do like to work, and there are detriments to that. You know, my social circle is very, very small, but it does protect me as a person. If I've got goals and aspirations that I can achieve by myself, I will do that. Just for instance for gratification in the long run as well. And I think it's just the way that I'm conditioned. So I've had to be like this because there's no one else that's going to do. No one else is going to be me, so I need to be myself.
Yeah. Great. Oh, yes.
Oh, he's great. I really love Chris.
Yeah, me too.
It's such a treat to meet him. He's just so interesting and enthusiastic.
Yeah, we both of our gazes are looking over at the chair he was just sat in, and the microphone's still set up.
I know, there's still the remnants of his cake on the plate.
Yeah, I know. He's a great baker, actually.
Yeah.
He brings in cakes and stuff to shows when he does it.
That's excellent, isn't it? I mean, and when he said about eating 4 boiled eggs for breakfast, though, that made me feel a little bit sick.
I think I probably about, on average, I normally have about two eggs, not every day, but on average over a week, probably is between 1 and 2. I'm thinking of the R rate for my egg intake is over 1, definitely over 1.
Okay, you're spreading.
So it's an exponential growth.
I reckon I have maybe 4 a year.
Oh, right.
I mean, within
4 eggs a year?
No, I mean, not in food, like cakes and the like, but I wouldn't just eat
you're not
one.
an egg person?
No, I'm really not.
Oh.
No, I find, like, egg mayonnaise is right up there with my top hates in the world.
Oh. I do get that. There's something slightly gross about egg mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's not right.
I always thought you always hear about that if you have too many eggs, then that's not good for you. Get egg bound. But that's really I've only really heard that in Viz.
Right.
So, and I don't think it's medical.
Yeah.
We should have asked Arun last week about that.
Perhaps I'll email him.
Just one more thing, Arun. Eggs. Now, what's your regular dose of eggs?
How much is safe eggs?
Safe eggs. Someone came and taught us about that at school once. Safe eggs.
Oh, did they? Botulism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's botulism?
No, that's the other one. I'm thinking of the thing Edwina Currie used to talk about. Oh, what? God, I'm really going back some years now. You're not going to remember this probably. Do you remember where there was that big thing about the eggs everyone... Oh, God, what was that called?
Don't know.
Oh, well, anyway, there you go.
Myxomatosis.
No, that's rabbits.
Oh.
I keep wanting to say bulimia, but that's something completely different. Botulism, and then there's... Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. Very interesting.
Great. Edwina curried eggs. Now, that is a thing. They're nice, aren't they? Curried eggs. Egg
Again,
curry.
No,
right.
not. There we are. I don't know quite how we took that from his really interesting interview. I homed in on the X. Sorry, Chris. It was it was excellent. Excellent.
Well, we've not got anything. Oh, actually, I was talking about, just to follow on from that social media thing. Because I tried this week I deleted. What did I delete? I deleted Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
That's admirable.
Obviously, I can access it on my computer. It's just trying to get rid of that habit of like you do it on when you're having a wee.
Have you stopped doing that, or have you just put it onto other things like checking the news?
Yeah, so I go on that Safari and I'll look up something else.
I go on that there Safari.
Go on that Safari. And then I do check Facebook like maybe once a day just to see what's going on, and it's quite interesting. 0 notifications.
Oh,
it's like it's going. Yeah, we're not. We don't mind. We don't care.
You don't want us. We don't want you.
Yeah. So I'm like, I could do that. I'm up for that.
That's good. That is good, because mindless scrolling is terrible. I do it all the time.
That's it. That's the thing. That doesn't feel healthy.
No, it doesn't. And we don't need to know everything, do we? We don't need to know what everyone's doing every second of the day.
But with Twitter, there are some really funny people on there.
Yeah, there are.
So I've missed that, just those stupid jokes.
There was a great meme on this week of this woman pouring a glass of champagne. I wonder if you've seen this.
No.
She's got her baby in one hand and a glass of champagne, and she knocks the champagne over and she lets go of the child and goes for the champagne.
It's so good.
It's things like that keep me going.
I know. That's one of those perfect little GIFs that are like 3 seconds long, and it just rotates and just keeps looping. And that woman actually looks just like my mum, and the baby looks just like my daughter. So it's like, this is what Christmas is going to look like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that is so good. So that's what I've been doing.
And do you feel cleansed from this?
I do feel a bit better, actually. Yeah.
That's good.
I want to feel a bit more just in control. And so that documentary, The Social Dilemma, halfway through it, I was already Googling, we call them like dumb phones, not smartphones. So you could just buy a 3310.
Yeah.
Or they have new ones now that you can get WhatsApp on.
Oh, right. Because
that's the thing. You'd still want WhatsApp because of group chats now. Yeah. And you have them for work, don't you? Like a gig you're doing, there's someone to set up a group chat.
Yeah.
You kind of need to be on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
But it's a sort of form of social media. So anyway, by halfway through I was doing that. I was like, maybe I could just change my whole thing. Or maybe take my SIM card out during the day, put it in a really old phone. But then by the end, the guy at the end, who is the bloke who invented the like button on Facebook.
Right.
He was like, he said he deleted all the apps that are not useful and he's turned off notifications and that's it. And he says it's the same reason I don't walk around with a pack of cookies in my pocket.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I don't do that.
No.
It's just like, just kind of take control.
It's such a good idea.
Because it's really useful having this phone because it's got an amazing camera in it. It's got your diary on it.
Well, that's it.
So many things. It's got a phone.
Yeah.
The phone app's quite good. Have you used that recently?
Well, not really. I don't really like to talk to people anymore. I try and just like what they've said on Facebook and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll just do that. Yeah. But then, as I said in this podcast, it's like you kind of need to use those tools for. It's like fire, using it wisely can be really powerful. Yeah. But don't let it overtake you. It's a good life lesson. It's a good life lesson. Yeah.
This is just a constant struggle, isn't it?
I know. I often think about it. And the sad thing is, if you're sat down watching TV or something and you're still on your phone at the same time, I just think that's rubbish. I'm trying really hard to leave. If I'm in the evening, if Rob and I have got an evening together, I'm trying to leave my phone in another room. So it's just not distracting me, or that I'm just thinking about messaging or what, or reading something. Yeah. To mixed degrees of success.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. Yeah. And not having it in your bedroom at night. That's probably a good thing to do, isn't it?
Alarm though, I need to get an alarm.
Yeah, I need to get a really cheap alarm clock.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
so
there we are.
I'll do that. I'm just buying things on Amazon instead. That's like what I do.
Yeah.
Bought some microphones this week.
They're very nice.
Yeah.
It's great. I've just seen them, and it's like I can now live out my K-pop dream.
Yeah, we bought some classic SM58s. I actually got these off eBay just for some other microphone options.
Yeah.
When we're in the field.
I know. Field work.
Because also, I mean, if anyone's listening, if anyone's got any tips for central London locations for recording podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's often times where we're meeting someone, and especially now, because like a lot of places are kind of closed. Like we've been to Royal Festival Hall before. I don't know if we're able to just go in, and
I don't know if we
probably
are.
not. So if anyone knows any places like that where you can just kind of, I don't know, record a podcast basically.
Me and chat, yeah.
That's not a freezing cold park, which is probably what we're going to have to do. But anyway, tips. Maybe we could pay a very small amount of money.
Yeah.
Or just, maybe there's somewhere you can just like drink a coffee and then use their facilities.
Yeah. Seriously, just, hit us up, Instagram.
Hit us up just for some friendly advice.
Not that we'll check it because we're going to be off social media, but
yeah, write me a letter,
Yes.
Send me some Morse code.
Yeah, lovely.
So
cool. What lies ahead this week? Do we have a guest coming up? I don't know if we do yet. This is exciting.
No.
So we don't know yet, so we can't even give you clues.
No, we don't know who's next.
No. We've got a few in the pipeline.
Yeah, we've got some in November we're doing.
Extremely exciting, but we don't know who's next week.
We've got some actual big names in November.
Yeah, we have.
We're teasing that now. You will have heard of them.
Yeah,
you will have heard of these ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that we're doing down any of our previous guests because they're all great. But we've got the big guns in.
We got them in. We've plucked up the courage and then we asked some big names.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you know any
exciting.
big names that might want to come on this podcast.
It doesn't matter what they do. As long as they can refer to something musical during the chat, we'll take anyone.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's go.
Let's do that.
Let's finish the podcast. Thanks for listening. That's been Chris Augustine. I've been Seb Philpott.
I've been Verity Simmons.
And this is 3 in a Bar.
Bye.
Bye.